In the land of the tyrant, where the sun never sets, we march to the beat of oppression's drums. With a powerful ally, our ruling fist is clenched. We'll trample over the weak, our kingdom will never crumble. On the blood-soaked soil, our empire will rise. No need for healthcare or homes, strength is our disguise. With oil and gold flowing like rivers of might, we proclaim loyalty to the tyrant's might. Oh, hail the tyrant, nation's pride. In his iron fist we will forever abide. We'll sing our anthem with passion and might, for the land of the tyrant, shining in its dark light. In the land of the tyrant, where the sun never sets, we march to the beat of oppression's drums. With a powerful ally, our ruling fist is clenched. We'll trample over the weak, our kingdom will never crumble. On the blood-soaked soil, our empire will rise. No need for healthcare or homes, strength is our disguise. With oil and gold flowing like
Am I ready?
of might,
Am I ready?
we proclaim loyalty to the tyrant's might. Oh, hail the tyrant, nation's pride. In his iron fist we will forever abide. We'll sing our anthem with passion and might, for the land of the tyrant, shining in its dark light.
Through the noise and chaos, we find our way. A revolution brewing, a bright new day. In the streets we gather, voices raised high. Sociallust streaming a battle cry. Cuban soul, artist heart blowing clouds of life. Fire in our hearts, burning through the night. No longer shall we stand, it's the plan's demise. United we'll rise with hope in our eyes.
I can't match the energy with.
Revolution in the air, it's time to take a stand. For the future of our world, we'll fight hand in hand. Through the darkness and despair, a new dawn will arise. With our hearts on fire, we'll paint the skies.
I think Cedar's a ripper.
He may have issues with me personally.
La vara siempre quiero, puedo sentarme de mi vuelo. La vara siempre conmigo, hasta el rumba empalado. La vara siempre quiero, puedo sentarme de mi vuelo. La vara siempre conmigo, hasta el rumba empalado. La vara siempre, Stella vola siempre, Stella vola siempre, hasta el rumba empalado. La vara siempre, Stella vola siempre, Stella vola siempre, hasta el rumba empalado.
You have to think about the vote.
La
soul at his heart, blowing clouds of light. The fire in our hearts, burning through the night. No longer shall we stand as the planet's demise. United we'll rise with hope in our eyes, with hope in our eyes. Revolution in the air, it's time to take a stand. For the future of our world, we'll fight hand in hand. Through the darkness and despair, a new dawn will arise. With our hearts on fire, we'll paint the sky. Through the north on fire, we'll paint the skies. Paint the skies. For the future of our world, we'll fight hand. Through the darkness and despair, a new dawn will.
Oh, the greatest country in the world.
All of the countries are at my little girls. Cuba, number one exporters of sugar. All of the countries have inferior sugar. Cuba, home of famous cigar. It started by capitalists all around the world. Cuba, Cuba, your very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana.
Cuba, friend of all except America.
They very nosy people with gold up their ass. Cuba, industry best in world. We invented coffee and the shaving knife. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana.
Congress, mighty penis of our leader.
From junction with the testes, the tip of his face. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana.
Congress, mighty penis of our leader.
From junction with the testes to tip of his face. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana.
Congress, mighty penis of our leader.
From junction with the testes to tip of his face.
In the land of the tyrant, where the sun never sets, we march to the beat of oppression's drums. With a powerful ally, our ruling fist is clenched. We'll trample over the weak. Our kingdom will never crumble. On the blood-soaked soil, our empire will rise. No need for healthcare or homes. Strength is our disguise. With oil and gold flowing like rivers of night, we proclaim loyalty to the tyrant's might. Oh, hail the tyrant, nation's pride. In his iron fist, we will forever abide. We'll sing our anthem with passion and might. For the land of the tyrant, shining in its dark light.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't this song like bang, guys? This song is fucking lit. I love this song. It's so good.
In the land of the tyrant, where the sun never sets, we march to the beat of oppression's drums. With a powerful ally, our ruling fist is clenched. We'll trample over the weak. Our kingdom will never crumble. On the blood-soaked soil, our empire will rise. No need for healthcare or homes. Strength is our disguise. With oil and gold flowing like rivers of might.
Oh, yeah.
We proclaim loyalty to the tyrant's might. Oh, hail the tyrant, nation's pride. In his iron fist, we will forever abide. We'll sing our anthem with
Passion and might from the land of the tyrant.
shining in its sublight.
No, but my favorite one, honestly, out of those songs, like, I really like the Cuba one. Yeah, I like. I'm just fixing my volume. Putting a little higher. Is it not enough? Hello, 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 hello. Okay, now it's in the. Hello, hello, hello. That should be hello, 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 hello. Okay, that's good. I think that's good. I'm just perfecting my volume. Sorry. Yeah, my favorite of those songs, honestly, is I really like the Cuba What I Made. It's so good, dude.
Oh, the greatest country in the world.
I love this shit.
All of the countries are at my little girl Cuba. Number one exporter of sugar. All of the countries have inferior sugar. Cuba, home of famous cigar. It started by capitalists all around the world. Cuba, Cuba, a very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Cuba, friend of all except America.
Yeah.
They're very nosy people.
America does not like Cuba, guys. I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if you knew this. Woo! Anyways, enough of that. Let's start today with TYT. TYT has been having a little bit of a rough spot in its history. It's like Rome. You know how Rome collapsed? I think TYT is about to collapse soon. Either that or turn into like Fox News 2.0 on the internet. So let's watch this video by the Humanist Report that came out 6 hours ago. I left a comment somewhere. Yeah, Zhank, the left's oracle. It's cutting it off too much. Theater mode? No, I don't like theater mode. Well, this is fine.
I think Cito's a grifter.
He may have issues with me personally. That's fine. I don't care at all.
I mean, have you pulled a Reuben, as some people suggest?
So I feel like it's come to a point where we now have a lot more clarity about the TYT situation, specifically their right-wing pivot. And I now know where this disconnect is specifically coming from between them and us. And
Whoa. Oh my god, Opera GX just crashed.
I think Cito's a grifter.
He may have issues with me personally. That's fine. I don't.
Opera GX, I was fiddling with the settings so much. It crashed. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't even know where the hell my default settings were. Was it that? Might have been here, 75. I'll zoom in. I just don't like how it's cutting off our daddy Sam Cedars' face. I'm sorry.
Care at all.
I mean, have you pulled a Reuben, as some people suggest?
Yeah, she pulled a fucking bro. They are pulling a Ruben, Jimmy Dore, a Charlie Kirk. They're pulling everything. They're pulling it all. They're pulling it all. They're pulling up PragerU. They're pulling it all, man. Maldito.
So I feel like it's come to a point where we now have a lot more clarity about
get it.
the TYT situation, specifically their right-wing pivot. And I now know where this disconnect is specifically coming from between them and us. And I debated about whether or not to even talk about this again because I don't want people to think that I'm trying to rehash drama. But in my mind, this isn't just about drama any longer. To TYT, they view this as a competition to maintain hegemony in this space because Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian presumably feel as if they've been usurped in some ways by the likes of Hassan Piker, as well as Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland. And they kind of have. I mean, Majority Report is just a better, more principled version of TYT, and more people are coming to that same realization. And Cenk,
Yeah, I watch the Majority Report every day. I listen to it at work. It's literally from 12 a.m. or 12 to 3 p.m. I listen to it every day. It's so good. I used to watch TYT all the time. I grew up on TYT, but I can even see how they're shifting. Even Ethan Klein is shifting. A lot of people are shifting, man, in their politics. It's fucking crazy. Just us on the left, Bernie Sanders. We are not. We are not shifting. We are staying strong.
is taking notice. He's jealous, I think, that Majority Report is eating his lunch because he's always viewed TYT as the champion of the progressive left on YouTube, and he still wants ownership over this space, but he's starting to lose it, and he's mad about that. And he's especially mad that he's losing dominance to people in particular that he probably views as inferior. Now, I don't know what's in his mind, but this is the way it comes across to me. I mean, Majority Report, they used to be part of TYT's network. I was also part of TYT network. So in some ways, I think that Cenk feels like we owe him our success, even though we don't. We built platforms and then joined TYT network because we were popular. But regardless, you know, he thinks that we shouldn't challenge his political orthodoxy.
Bruh, don't let Unc on X, guys. Don't let your uncle on X. Don't let Unc on X. Or on the internet. Keep Unc on off the internet and off the TV also. Like, don't let him watch Fox News, or don't let Unc watch CNN or MSNBC. All that shit's bad. Let him go take nature walks and play outside, you know what I mean? With his kids or nephews.
See, because we should be paying him fealty and thanking him because he feels responsible for our success. Or at a minimum, you know, he feels like we should be thankful that he created a model that we replicate today. He walked so we can run, in other words, but we're not giving him what he believes is owed to him. Now, to be clear, I don't view other people in this space as competition like Cenk views us as competition. I think that
he's thinking about all of this like a fucking filthy capitalist. You know what I mean? Cenk Uygur is going a total capitalist like route. He sees all the likes on Twitter, all the fucking 80K, 90K fucking you know what I mean, views and all that, and replies, and he's like, oh, money.
a win for David Dole is a win for me. When Lance of the Serfs gets 10,000 new subscribers, that's a win for me too, because we're not competitors in my mind. We're colleagues who are working towards the same goal, and a win for one of us is a win for all of us.
That's awesome.
Cenk, however, I don't think he views this space in that way. Maybe he did, but he certainly doesn't now. To him, this is a competition, and he wants TYT to come out on top. He wants to carry the mantle of the online left forever, and he wants to set the agenda and establish the parameters that the rest of us have to abide by. But I mean, I reject that mentality. Others in this space do too. And to him, he views this as a sort of rebellion against him. And in response, he's melted down repeatedly.
They're rebelling!
And tried to reassert himself as the true leader of this space while insisting that we should all bow down to him because his ego is bruised and he can't tolerate people calling him out for his dog shit takes. So I guess what I'm ultimately getting to is what's happening here is three things. We're seeing hubris, a politics of self-grievance, and mixed messaging from the network, and that's what's creating this disconnect between them and us. And over the course of this video, I'm going to demonstrate that case to you. So, first and foremost, let's talk about the mixed messages, because that is the lowest common denominator that's driving all of this drama, if you want to call it that, because TYT, they brand themselves as home of progressives, yet repeatedly they undermine that branding with centrist and even right-wing counter-messaging. And when people call it out and they say, hey, that's not very progressive, he'll respond by dismissing their criticism and reasserting himself as the true arbiter of truth on the left, but he never actually addresses the substance of our claims, and he refuses to reconcile the mixed messaging that we're all seeing. For example, when Anna Kasparian went on Jillian Michaels' show, the thumbnail plays up her right-wing pivot and asks if she's leaving the left, and it even says, you know, why I left the left in a quote. Now, when she went on Piers Morgan, look at the way that he introduced her as well.
So has Anna Kasparian left the left? Let's find out. She joins me now. Anna, welcome to your uncensored debut.
Yeah, but to be fair, Anna can't control the thumbnails and the framing on other people's channels, but I mean, these shows are playing up that narrative for a reason. And while she's lead into it more than Cenk, he's continuing to deny it and feigns outrage whenever he's called out for it. But Cenk has at times leaned into it, and he's played footsie with the right, but he still wants to maintain dominance over the leftist space when he's very clearly moving away from that. For example, he tweeted, "I've been trying to figure out why I'm more optimistic now than I was before the election, even though I was so against the guy that won. I know now, MAGA is not my mortal enemy, and neither is the extreme left. My mortal enemy is the establishment, and they have been defeated." Sure, because the electoral victory of a billionaire fascist who's stacking his cabinet full of neocons and other billionaires is certainly evidence that the establishment has been defeated. Cool. But I mean, if we call that out and say, hey, that's pretty fucking stupid, we're just drama farming, or we're too dumb to understand the 40 chess moves that he's making to trick the right into giving us the policies that we want. But I'm sorry, not a lot of lefties are going to endorse that weird, narcissistic, and self-serving strategy that he's pursuing currently. And if you're going to purport to represent the true left, as you say you do, people are going to object to these kinds of things if they feel like it reflects poorly on them. I'm not the one who's claiming that I represent the entire left. You are. So if you're going to claim to have a monopoly on truth and strategic wisdom in this space, people are going to push back on you when they say things that they feel is not representative of the left, when they feel like you're a bad example of what a leftist is or should be. I mean, even if, though, we were perfectly ideologically aligned, I'll admit, I still wouldn't want Cenk to represent the left because, quite frankly, he comes off as unhinged and unserious. I mean, he had a vanity presidential run to hawk his fuck.
Yeah, Cenk Uygur comes off like me when I'm really, like, when I get amped up. Like, look at the Rashad Crenshaw fucking video, guys. I was amped up. But that's how I come off like Cenk. You wouldn't want me representing your fucking group? I'm a warrior, all right? I'm like Rashad. I'm a warrior, but I ain't no speechcraft. You know what I mean? I ain't no aficionado. I ain't no politician.
Fucking book. That's embarrassing. And I think that other people
I'll be an
better
activist.
represent our
I'll be your activist. But I don't know if I could do the speechcraft part.
collective values. But with that being said, nobody is trying to claim ownership of this space like Cenk does. Sam Cedar I view as the true leader of the online left, but he's not saying he's the one true
Yeah,
leftist. He allows
Sam Cedar, the true leader of the left. Woo!
disagreements and pushback. But I mean, if Sam Cedar were to push back and criticize Cenk would take that as evidence, not that, you know, he's putting forward this good faith criticism, but instead as evidence that he's trying to replace Cenk as the new de facto leader of this space when it's really not that deep. If Sam Cedar criticizes Cenk, if I criticize Cenk, I'm just disagreeing. And I'm trying to get you to see my point of view because I think that you have a big platform and you can use it more effectively. But I mean, Cenk doesn't see it that way, and it's a problem. And throughout Cenk's stream with Hassan, which was incredibly long, you know, he tried to claim ownership again and again
Oh my God.
of this leftist space. But
I just noticed I was chewing my food like a fucking disgusting monster. Jesus Christ, Brian.
he doesn't realize that TYT has
I'm
lost
sorry
the
I tortured
credibility
you
that
guys
they
like
once
that.
had by repeatedly shifting to the right and shitting on the left and playing footsie with fascists. Case in point.
I watched your conversation with Matt Walsh today. I thought it was a good conversation. I haven't seen that film at all, but I mean, he touches on something that's very real.
I watched your conversations with Ben Shapiro, and you inspired me to have that conversation.
Oh
with
my
Matt.
God, Ben
How dare you
Shapiro.
accuse us of shifting to the right? I mean, I'm only complimenting a self-proclaimed theocratic fascist for touching on a very real issue ignored by the left, but I'm not going right-wing, ooh-ooh. It's just so fucking disingenuous. And they think that we're stupid and naive and can't see what's happening, that we can't see what's already happened before multiple times on this same network. And just for shits and giggles, look at how she responded when Piers Morgan asked her if she's now doing what she criticized Dave Rubin of doing. And her answer, I think, was very illuminating.
This is what you said when Dave Rubin pivoted. Let's have a look.
There has been this prevalence of prominent figures who identify as the left, right, or on the left, who then later start to, cozy up to right-wing figures, and then it turns out that they completely move to the right wing because they're essentially paid to do it. They're used as tools by the right wing to essentially spew right-wing talking points while purporting to still be on the left. In fact, Dave Rubin's a great example of that. Dave Rubin used to work with us. He identified as someone on the left.
So, I mean, have you pulled a Rubin, as some people suggest?
Yeah. She did.
I mean, I'm still pretty left-wing, and I'm still working at the exact same place. Look, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong about Dave Rubin.
Oh, no. She said it. She said it. She said maybe she's wrong about Dave Rubin, bro. She is a sellout, dude. She is a fucking sellout, Anna Kasparian. I'm going to call her Anna Birth Persian, honestly.
But I just felt that he, first of all, after he left TYT,
Birthing person.
he did lie about us, and that bothered me because we were still friends, and I didn't understand what was going on.
And that, my friends, is where we get the politics of self-grievance. It's on full display, because she's inadvertently admitting that she never really took issue with Dave Rubin's right-wing grift because what he was espousing was dangerous. The real problem to her was that she felt like her friend had betrayed her. And the more that she talks over a length of time, like going on different shows, the more it becomes abundantly clear that...
You know what's wild? I have 0 concurrent viewers, but the average view duration keeps going up. Like if there's a ghost viewer. We have a ghost viewer watching us. We have a spy.
Pivot, in part, is fueled by personal grievance. There's a viral clip making the rounds on Twitter of her talking about how her entire opinion of Trump supporters changed because of this one Trump-supporting neighbor that she talked to, Jeff. He was nice to her. And that's so weird. I find this worldview very bizarre because, I mean, I have family members who voted for Donald Trump. I've never been in a leftist or liberal echo chamber or bubble. You know, my MAGA family members, they're ostensibly nice if you talk to them, but just don't ask them about their views on immigrants or trans people because then they're not going to sound so nice. You know, maybe Anna can put aside those issues because she's not an immigrant or she's not trans. I mean, I know that her family is immigrants, but she herself is not at risk of deportation. So
yeah, she's rich.
But for a lot of us, that disagreement is fundamental to who we are as human beings, so we can't put it aside. But in her mind, the left right now is being mean to her, while a right-winger and many right-wingers are being nice to her. Therefore, her worldview must have been flawed. And
wow.
I'm obviously making an assumption.
Imagine forming your political views like that. These people were nice to me now, and the other people that were good to me before are no longer being good. Oh, well, the good people must be the right people. And, like, the good people are, like, Donald Trump, Matt Walsh and shit. It's like, how the fuck are you fucking, like, you need a, what's that called? What's that medical procedure where they scramble your brain or whatever? America needs, I made a fucking stream about it. I called, let me see. America needs a, oh my god. I'm having a brain fart. Here it is. America needs a lobotomy. That's what it's called, a lobotomy. That's a surgery where they, like, fuck your brain up or something. Yeah, America does need a lobotomy. And you know who else needs a lobotomy? I do. Just kidding. No, yeah, these fucking people need lobotomies. Like Anna and Jank. People that think that just because the right wing is being nice to them for now, that they are correct? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? What? That's just bullshit. They're just sellouts. They're sellouts, obviously. They're just making some random excuse up, and that's what they came up with.
that this is how she's operating, at least on a subconscious level, when I don't know for sure. But I mean, this politics of personal grievance is bad if it is what she's doing, because it is inevitably how you become a reactionary. Because rather than looking at the macro, you base your entire worldview on personal anecdotes, which is going to fail you. And this isn't unique to TYT or Anna Kasparian. They're not the first to do this. A lot of people have this view. It's why I always have been overly nice and apologetic to friends and family, to the point where I kind of became a doormat, because basically every single person in my real life who I know, I am the only gay person that they've ever known. So their interaction with me could shape their perception of all gay people. And that horrifies me, because I don't want to represent an entire group of people. I'm just one member of a very large community that is not a monolith. And I don't want someone's entire worldview to be colored by this one interaction that they have with me, where maybe I'm an asshole or I lose my temper, because I'm not perfect. And that responsibility that
Yes, guys, I do not represent the left. Look at me. I do not represent the fucking left. Don't look at me and be like, oh, this guy's every leftist. No, bitch. I'm my own person.
that I felt I had, it ate away at me for most of my life, until I realized I can't live that way. You know, I can't base my own self-worth on other people's personal grievances, right? I'm one person, and if somebody starts to hate gay people because I was mean to them, or I forgot to say bless you after they sneezed or some shit, that's their problem. That's not my problem. But Cenk and Anna have presumably shifted away their focus to their own personal grievances and not on the actual policy and the data themselves. The left thinks that they're, you know, too right-wing on crime. So what do? They become mad and they lean into that despite the left and prove them wrong, because they can never admit that they're wrong. You know, if the left says that they're not supportive enough of trans people, what do? Well, they get mad and they lean into that too until they're validated and we're invalidated. It's how they've been operating for the past year or so. It's an immature way to view the world, but I mean, it's presumably what's driving them. And I don't know, again, for sure what's in their hearts and in their minds, but they kind of admit a lot that personal grievances is what's driving their behavior. You know, the right has been nice to them lately and the left has been mean to them. So they go on right-wing shows and...
Dude, I feel so bad for John Idarola and some of these other, fucking, my camera's lagging. I feel bad for John Idarola and some of these, other people on TYT. Like, I know some people left, like, Benny, whatever. Some lady named Benny left, and a few other people left.
Avoid the leftist mafia and Sam Cedar like the plague. That's what it looks like to me. So, I mean, it could be wrong, but that's what a lot of us are kind of seeing. And on the topic of personal grievances, when Anna made her birthing person tweet, she privately told me that she felt like she was being publicly bashed by people like myself and presumably others in this space who she considered friends. In other words, it wasn't what we said, it was where we said it. Even though we were respectful, the fact that we disagreed publicly with her, it felt like a betrayal. And in response, she felt compelled to double down, so that way her friends who she felt like betrayed her wouldn't win, so she would be proven right. Now, she was asked about that birthing person tweet on Piers Morgan, and she did downplay the hatred she received. That's her word. It's an interesting choice of words to use when we were all very respectful, if you go back and watch the videos that we did about this. But regardless, she goes on to comment about trans rights and ultimately say,
like, all the guys, like the Serfs, Humanist Report, David Dole, they all gave Anna really good advice, and they were nice about it. They weren't mean. But Anna just they want enemies, these people. They want fucking enemies. They're not leftists. They wanna fight the left and make the left more right-wing. Or the centrist, at least.
Sends another mixed message.
You also got blowback when you posted, "I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus or a person who menstruates." How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this shit. And I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I did not expect that tweet to go as viral as it did. I didn't expect the kind of hatred I got in response to it. But look, that's okay. It's fine, right? I'm a public figure, and whether I like it or not, I signed up for any type of, you know, harassment, abuse, whatever that you get online as a result of stating your opinions. Look, the main point I want to make about the transgender community is that these are human beings, okay? They deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. And when it comes to any issue that has a real impact on their lives, housing, employment, all of that, there should be protection for this community, and we should respect the fact that they're human beings.
Now, if she just stopped talking right there, I think that maybe she actually learned
She
from
don't
the whole
stop.
birthing
Just
person
stop
perspective.
talking, Anna.
But she didn't stop. She kept talking and proved that we were all right to call her out because she was indeed going down a turf path, as many of us suspected, and we tried to intervene to stop that, but we've arrived at this point now.
At the same time, there are some issues that arise where the rights of one group, in this case, the transgender community, kind of conflicts with the rights of another group, the rights of women. And what I think is important is that we actually have a real dialogue, a civil dialogue, about how we move forward in a way where both parties feel that they're being treated fairly and with dignity.
So she's just A.K. Rowling at this point. We have officially arrived in turf territory where she is portraying trans rights as antithetical to women's rights in some areas. She's viewing this as a zero-sum game. If trans women have rights and are welcomed into women's spaces as they should be, to her, that's a net loss for cis women. And she's not specific here, but if you watch her video that she did about Sarah McBride and Nancy Mace, she talks about how dehumanizing it was for Nancy Mace to try to police the bathroom usage of the one trans lawmaker. But in one part of the video towards the end, she drops a little turf comment about how, it does get a little bit more tricky when we're talking about locker rooms.
Look, I want to be specific
Oh
in
my
noting
God.
that I do not have a problem at all with transgender people using the restrooms, the bathrooms that they identify with. The other single-sex facilities like locker rooms, I think, does get a little tricky.
She just drops that in there as she's trying to be an ally to trans people. She had to bring that up as if trans people are the predators who pose a threat to women when they are disproportionately vulnerable to sexual abuse themselves. But I mean, this right here is the future we all saw when we made that birthing person response to her, or when we responded to her birthing person tweet, I should say. And as her friends, we tried to stop her from going down this path, but apparently it was already too late. And I guess we also underestimated how open she would be to criticism because she does not like fucking being criticized. So we're seeing this collision of grievance politics and mixed messaging, where she'll aesthetically present herself as a trans ally, then substantively say something that is objectively transphobic, but since she rejects
My camera's fucking up. Dude, what the fuck's going on with the internet?
our claim that she's being anti-trans, it activates the politics of grievances, where she'll then try to double down and further insulate herself in the right-wing bubble, who's going to validate her turf concerns. And this is the cycle that's becoming more clear. I didn't spot it at first, but now it's much more clear after we've been seeing this again and again for the past year or so. And it's not just Anna, because on Hassan's Thanksgiving stream, Cenk Uygur sent the same mixed message about trans people, where he presented himself as a warrior for trans rights, but the caveat was that they don't get to be as equal as their cis peers. But if we reject that, that activates another cycle of grievance politics. So let's watch.
The reason I make a distinction between high school and professional sports is because in high school, what you're saying is, like Ohio, if I really want to institute this, even though it affects almost no trans or cis girls, if in the world, in Ohio as it is.
Like in
but if I
Piedmont-
go to implement
Okay.
it, now I got to check everybody's genitals, and there's got to be a genital checker, right? And let me guess, tons of Republican older men are going to volunteer
Yeah.
to check the genitals of our high school kids, and I hate it. I don't want it. It's like a groomer pervert.
That is so fucking disgusting. Yeah, red states where they pass these fucking laws against trans people, where trans people can't like play in sports. They're gonna have to check students and shit. Like that's so gross. Like what, a doctor's gonna have to check him? Like what the fuck, dude? All these fucking pedophile ass conservatives, bro. Fucking Matt Gaetz and shit and Trump. Jeffrey Epstein ass motherfuckers. God damn.
Factory, and they're going to probably put Jim Jordan in charge of it. No, okay. But when you get to the professional level, you get to the Olympic level, you guys make a giant mistake. You fall right into their trap, and you go, "Oh yeah, sure, they should be able to compete." When the overwhelming majority of the American people do not agree with you, you should let the Olympics and the professional sports decide it on their own. It is not a constitutional right. They have no so-called right to participate in the WNBA. I don't have a right to participate in the NBA. So, number one, I don't agree when you go to those extremes. And number two, does it affect elections? Well, we had an overwhelming answer to that in the Trump-Harris contest.
So in his mind, he's being perfectly reasonable, and he starts by making an argument that we all agree with, but he ends by making a transphobic argument that we don't agree with. And since he started with the pro-trans argument, since he led with that, he thinks it's outrageous to condemn the thing that he said that we don't agree with. But I'm sorry, you don't get to control what we're allowed to agree or disagree with, nor do you get to dictate what trans people should and shouldn't accept when it comes to their own humanity. And the argument that he uses is fallacious because, you know, nobody is saying that there's a right to be in the WNBA. I don't know a single person who said that, right? Nor is trans sports the focus of trans activism, broadly speaking. But switch the group for a moment. Let's just say that I was rejected from the NBA because I'm gay. Would Cenk then say, "Oh, well, too bad, boo-hoo, you don't have a right to participate in the NBA"? My guess is that he probably wouldn't say that because it's discrimination. If the basis of my rejection is sexual orientation alone, that is discrimination. It's not about whether or not I have a right to be in the NBA. It's about whether or not my inclusion or exclusion hinges on my sexual orientation. Now just replace gay with trans, and you see the problem. People shouldn't have less opportunities simply because they're trans. I mean, he's making a similar argument that conservatives used to make against gay marriage, where they'd say something like, you know, gay people technically aren't being discriminated against because we all have the same rights. For example, I, as a straight man, cannot marry a man. Therefore, since gay men also can't marry men, then we have the same rights. Makes sense, right? It comes from a place of deliberate
That's fucked
ignorance
up.
and denies the immutability of sexual orientation and gender identity.
That's really fucked up if someone uses that shit as an argument.
You can choose to not act on it, but you can never turn it off, right? You can choose to LARP as a straight man and marry a woman, but that doesn't change the fact that you're still gay. A trans person who never transitions is still trans because it is innate. But me making this counter-argument would be seen as an attack by Cenk since he prefaced his anti-trans statement with the pro-trans one. And one thing that he did throughout the entirety of that conversation with Hassan was bring up how he's the real left and we're all the fake left.
We're the
because
fake.
his
We're
positions
fake.
are popular and ours are unpopular. But first of all,
We're the fake left, guys. Oh, fuck. I wanted to be the real left. God damn it, I'm on the fake left. Fucking sucks.
I don't base my worldview on what is and isn't popular. I base it on what's right. Popular.
Yeah, I've always been a little bit of a rebel, but like ever since I've heard of Bernie Sanders, like I was like, wow, this dude is like so inspiring, dude. Yeah, so like, and that's when I really started my political journey. It was 2017, during Bernie Sanders. Actually, 2016, Bernie Sanders. But like 2017, when Trump was running, that's when I really got serious about it. That shit was fucking crazy. I even have this picture that I drew, bro. I have this picture of Trump. It's crazy. It's right here. Bro, I literally drew this shit. I literally drew this shit in school. I mean, it's not the best, but you know what I mean. It's really awesome. I mean, I gotta encrust it in gold and sell it to some dipshit that would buy it. Be like, dude, this is a portrait of Donald Trump. He signed it, bro. Maybe I can get Trump to sign it. Then that'll really put some value on it. But a lefty can't sign it. I gotta get like I gotta get a Republican cousin of mine or some shit that lives in Florida. Do it for me. Fuck. But now he's about to be the president, bro. That's gonna be so hard to. Yeah, I can try. We'll see.
Populism can be useful electorally, but it's not the basis of my ideology, and nobody should base their ideology on what's popular. Second of all, if we have a position that's unpopular, it is our job as political commentators to make those positions popular. If we preemptively capitulate to every policy that might be unpopular, or we adopt positions based on how we think the Republican Party will respond, we would never have any progress on any issue ever. As a gay man, I was born unpopular, baby. I'd have no rights today if my predecessors were too afraid to be bold, but thankfully they were bold. Stonewall was a literal riot. Gay rights activists shoved pies in the faces of bigots. They never ceded ground on civil unions or gay adoption. They rightfully demanded full equality. These were not popular positions at the time, but do you want to know what they did? They made them popular. I mean, Medicare for All was unpopular until Bernie Sanders ran for president and made it popular. But to be clear, we should boast about the popularity of our positions if the policies we're supporting are popular. But if they're not popular, we shouldn't run away from them, especially if we're political commentators, because, then we're just setting ourselves up to be audience-captured fucking drones who just repeat what we think our audiences want to hear. When I'm making videos, I don't focus group test or poll test whatever the fuck I say. I just say what I believe, and if people disagree, then I defend my position, and if I think that they're making a good counter-argument, then I'll adjust. Now, Jank would probably view what I'm saying as me being overly self-righteous or accuse me of engaging in purity politics, but I can't help the way that he perceives good faith criticism, and he might think that we're all making bad faith criticism and we're grifting, but it is good faith criticism. But no matter how hard we try to steelman him and be fair in our criticism and respectful, any response always sets up another cycle of grievance politics with a good dose of hubris as well, which was on full display during his stream with Hassan.
You are hyper-focusing on people that are in your replies on Twitter. And because
so you agree with
all
me, radical left is
because all you
bullshit,
interact,
stupid dumbasses. Do you agree?
There are a million people that are both in your replies that have also gotten mad at me as well, time and time again, on specific issues, maybe ones that even pertain to trans rights. It literally doesn't matter. People get very passionate, understanding. I'm very understanding.
Shocking agreement. I agree. There's 13 douchebags online. That's what I said from day one.
I know, but why the would you
What the
ever
fuck?
hyper focus on
but
people
Haas,
like that?
Look, no. So you might be
No,
doing
you're
the right
doing-
thing. Hold on.
You're doing the
on
Bill
your
Maher
show-
thing.
No,
You're
bullshit.
demanding that Bernie sisters.
Bullshit.
Yeah, he is.
You're
Hold
doing
on, let
the
me
sister
explain.
soldier
He is.
moment.
No,
That's it.
bullshit.
He is
No,
doing
you're
it.
trying
Okay, so the minute we said the most reasonable
Sister
things on
soldier.
earth, which you now agree with apparently, then what happened? It wasn't just the 13 douchebags online. And by the way, everybody said, no, those 13 douchebags represent all the left. You're not on the left anymore because the 13 douchebags control the left. And then what happened next? Then Majority Report jumped in.
Look at Hassan's face.
All the other little dirtbags jumped in. And
Unk!
they are turning right. The 13 douchebags are right.
Can we
need to protect every
can-
trans
okay.
person should get free
Listen,
surgery.
we got.
Even in China.
Uncle.
You gotta stop.
hate them. They're Nazis.
You gotta. Okay.
I mean, I'm 100% right.
You're
Every
not.
dirtbag
You
show
gotta.
did it.
You gotta.
You're not right.
Dirtbag show did it.
You're not
Tell me
right.
I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
This is reframing an issue that is now we've moved away from the electoral consequences of a trans ad to your own personal anger and frustration that you have with left-wing media.
You're
online.
wrong, Unk.
We are
So do you agree
11
left-wing media
Unk.
online? Those guys that I
11
listed are full of shit.
I have
And they-
disagreed.
Bro, Unk is on X all day, dude. Uncle is on X all day. That's like his Fox News. Oh my god, dude. He's like tweeting at people, like getting in like tweet battles. You know what I mean? Oh my god, X battles, whatever they call it now. It's so stupid ever since Elon bought it, bro. It's literally Hitler's bunker.
Tiny, stupid minority.
I have disagreements with everyone in this space, but there's a reason why, seemingly, I don't catch the same amount of strays that you do because I don't
I
hyper
can tell
focus.
you why.
I don't hyper focus. What do you think it is?
They think you're hot, young. I don't mean attractive. God bless on that. Okay, I'm also obviously hot. I mean, as in they think, oh, the young people watch Hassan. He's cool, and you give the thing of like, oh no, trans people are right on everything, right? You don't come out and make the distinctions that Anna and I made. Okay, so they think, oh no, he's good.
One thing I gotta learn how to do is I gotta learn how to shave good. I gotta learn how to shave good like Hassan. You see his nice ass, fresh. I gotta work out too, honestly. I've really gotta get in a workout routine, but I like his. Like some people really like shave very good. Like I don't know, they're good at shape ups and shit. You know what I mean?
Son, he's cool, and you give the thing of like, oh no, trans people are right on everything, right? You don't come out and make the distinctions that Anna and I made. Okay, so they think, oh no, he's good. He's extreme as we are.
I think
he's woke left. Yay, extreme.
Woke
Yeah.
left. Oh
First
my
of all,
god, dude. He's using the woke thing. I'm tired of this woke thing. YouTube, if you're watching, monitoring me, please stop with this woke shit. Ban any fucking channel that mentions woke shit. Please. You know these woke, video games going woke, this going woke, that woke. Come on, guys. Do something good for humanity.
By the way, majority report and all of you guys, you better attack him. He apparently agrees with me. Okay, you better attack him.
I don't.
You're not going to attack him, are you?
You're.
Okay.
There's a
And
difference,
you're
though.
saying no, don't crush them. Just let them fester.
Because
and
you're
have
not-
people.
Jank takes Bitcoin money, guys. Jank takes money from like fucking Peter T or whatever that guy's name is.
Pretend that they're the real left.
You're
no,
not.
we don't do that.
You're
so
not.
if you're gonna say stupid shit and you're gonna try to punch us in the face, we're gonna punch you back, not on our behalf, on behalf of Democratic voters.
You are
who
not
lying about.
the oracle. You are not the fucking the left's oracle, brother. You're not the oracle of the left.
The Democratic voters do not agree with you. They agree with us. So
I don't even.
day for you, and I'm not going to let you lie and pretend that Democratic voters are on your side because
Okay.
you're a fucking liar.
Okay,
and
okay.
they're not on your
We
side.
gotta- we
Do you
gotta-
agree that the Democratic voters are on my side?
I don't care what the Democratic voters
okay,
are
all
on,
right.
whichever side they're on right now. We've lost the plot. We've completely lost the plot because now the conversation is about like the serfs or majority report, and I think that's a completely
So
and
your
utterly
your
unproductive
strategy
conversation to
your
have.
strategy is when grifters on the left attack you, whether it's
I don't think they're
Rubin,
grifters.
I think Cedar's a grifter.
Oh, wow.
I disagree.
Okay. Oh, by the way, so now all of a sudden you're defending Cedar. When he calls me a grifter, you don't defend.
First of all, I've never heard him call you a grifter.
He's called me every name in the book. 'cause
Okay.
He's
Okay,
a low rent
stop,
grifter.
Stop.
And that right
Oh
there is
my
what it always
God.
comes back to for Jank and Anna. Personal grievances again and
Wow.
again. And also, he has to be right about everything. And he not only has to be right about everything, everyone else has to affirm how right he is again and again, as evidenced by the fact that he kept trying to get Hassan to validate his positions. And you'll notice that he's responding to us, pointing out the mixed messaging that he's sending about their right-wing pivot, but he never actually engages with the critiques that we're making. Rather, he'll strawman what we're saying or accuse us of calling him a Nazi when I have no idea who's doing that or if anyone has actually called him a Nazi. If that's the case, I disagree.
Yeah,
But
who the fuck called him a Nazi? He's not a Nazi. He's like trying to get into like he's like in Hitler's bunker X platform too much. You know, he's hanging out with RFK Jr., who's now in the Trump administration, surrounded by Nazis. But he's not a Nazi himself. Like that is a stretch.
But I mean, this is where the hubris comes in. He thinks that he's too good to engage with our critiques because he's right and we're wrong and we're beneath him. It's why he refused, offers from us to talk about these issues on air or even behind the scenes. Because why should he engage with people who are inferior to him when he's already determined that he's right about everything and we're wrong about everything? And listen, I watched about 3 hours of that 3.5-hour stream, and it's clear that Cenk Uygur is just a centrist. I'm sorry.
Yes,
He might not
yeah,
admit
this is
that,
what I'm
but
saying.
He's against affirmative action. He's selective on trans rights, moderate on abortion.
This is what I'm saying. All these people are centrist Democrats, and they're all eating themselves alive, fucking like blaming the left for random bullshit that like the left hasn't done. We haven't done nothing. We've been trying to help. I voted for Kamala. I voted. I'm a leftist. like an extreme. Like I'm really fucking left.
Cruel on homelessness, quite frankly, and he's center-right on crime. And I think that he's been able to kind of pass as a progressive all these years because he never really focused on those things and downplayed those elements of his ideology. But I mean, the reason why he's getting more pushback now is because he's leaning into the more conservative views that he claims he's always had, right? And he's using his platform to raise the salience of these issues, on issues like crime. And that is benefiting the right. He's engaging with these issues in a right-wing way. He's giving credence to the claims that the right is making. And as he does all of this in front of our faces, he gaslights us at the same time and claims that he's the true leftist because the fake left pretends like crime doesn't exist. But, you know, he's a real leftist who won't lie to you about crime like the fake left. It's the amalgamation of a straw man, hubris, and grievance politics that's culminating in a major crash out. And it's genuinely sad to see. But I mean, if he's going to purport to be the arbiter of truth in this space, the rest of us have a right to push back. And I think that Sam Cedar and Emma Viglin's response was perfectly reasonable.
I made it clear to Jank that he was invited to come on the show, and you know, we can have a debate, we can discuss whatever. I mean, you know, and he made it clear to me that he was not interested in that. He was mad. He was very, very mad about all of it. And I will just say, like, I didn't hear any issue that he had with the stuff that we talk about. He may have issues with me personally. That's fine. I don't care at all.
My camera.
I've always maintained that what you cover is just as important.
Well, that's what editorial. That's the editorial decisions
editorial
you make.
discretion, right? So, like, in any issues we've had with that Venezuela story, which now has been thoroughly debunked.
Any apology about that?
None. It doesn't seem to be the case. But
Yeah, that stupid ass Venezuela. Oh, Venezuelan gangs took over apartments in Colorado. That was all bullshit. All bullshit. Literally, a slumlord started that story. And they ran with it. And I went to my dad's house like a few months ago. I went to my dad's house, and he was watching dumbass YouTube videos where they were talking about that stupid ass fake bullshit about the Venezuelan gangs. It's all fake ass news.
But like that, you know, even if you're saying, okay, you know, there's nuance in this story, it's about what you choose to cover and what you choose to give credibility to.
I'm happy to go on that show at any time and debate these issues. But after that, I don't care about any of this. Honestly, it's a waste of my time.
And that right there is the key. Your personal grievances do not matter. What you choose to cover and how you choose to cover it, that does matter, right? We're trying to push back on right-wing narratives while TYT is leaning into them and making all of our jobs harder. YouTuber Jose put out a really thoughtful response to TYT's coverage of the bullshit Venezuelan gang story.
It's a good
which
video.
I would highly encourage you to watch because it demonstrates how TYT played into a bogus right-wing narrative in a way that validated the right's narrative about crime and immigration. Narratives matter. Take a look at this YouGov graphic from 2022. So Americans overestimate the size of minority groups, which means that fear-mongering about these groups are going to be more salient if they're told that they're a threat since they're perceived as being larger than they are. I mean, they think that trans people make up 21% of the country, but it's 1% in actuality. They think Muslims make up 27% of the country. It is 1% again
Jesus
in actuality.
Christ.
They think that gay people make up 30% of the population. It's just 3%. Now, when you look at this poll from Ipsos, as you can see, people with misinformed views were more likely to vote for Republicans. So if they thought that violent crime rates were at all-time highs or that border crossings weren't at the lowest level in years, then they voted Republican. This is why the issues that we choose to focus on are so important. And it's why we're critical of TYT, because they're focusing on issues that benefit the right, not the left. We have platforms to dispel these myths, but they're feeding into them. Myths about crime, and trans people, and immigrants, these things need to be debunked. And if you're not doing that as a progressive, if you're feeding that beast, then you shouldn't be confused about why people are taking issue with your content, right? But TYT, like Fox News, is doing just that. They are sensationalizing these stories and feeding those right-wing narratives at the behest of the Republican Party that they're supposed to be fighting. But while they chum it up with the right and parrot their bullshit, they have the audacity to deny that this shift is happening. they're pissing on our legs and telling us it's raining. So he might think that the unpopularity of our positions is hurting the collective left, but in reality, they are the ones that are hurting the left. They can either be the home of progressives,
Yeah, it's their
or they can be
dumbass.
Fox News Light.
It's
But
their
you can't have it
dumbasses,
both
bro. It's their
ways.
dumbasses.
And this conflict that we're all seeing has not been reconciled.
It's them. It's their fault.
That's why so many people are speaking out against TYT, not just influencers and commentators, but their own audience members. Because we see the mixed messaging that they're denying. We see the hubris and the personal grievances on full display, and we are calling it out. You can get mad about it if you want, but I don't care about your feelings, Jenk and Anna. I care about the issues and how you are feeding the right-wing narratives that we're trying to combat. So we're going to continue to talk about that because you don't own us and you don't speak for the left. So, I don't know, humble yourselves and maybe drink a tall glass of shut-up juice while you're at it.
Oh! Alright, y'all. We're going to watch something else, but I got to go do something real quick. So, subscribe to the Humanist Report. I am subscribed. Thumbs up the video. I hope I'm able to go on the hope they invite me on their show one day. Notice me, senpai. Notice me. Let's put Taj Heki. Are you sorry, mate? Are you sorry? Are you sorry for what you done? You done a genocide, you. How dare you do a genocide?
Are you sorry for what you did? If you are, you keep it hid. Well, it's nice to say you're sorry when you make the balls of it. I say it to every Brit. Are you sorry for what you did? Be like me and say you're sorry so, 'cause you've made the balls of it. Sorry I forgot to feed your rabbit. No lettuce for little Marv. Are you sorry for the famine and leaving us to starve? Sorry for getting stroppy, I get desperate monthly cramps. Are you sorry he introduced Hitler to concentration camps? Are you sorry for what he did? If you are, you keep it hid, so well hid. Sorry for saying you've a fat arse, I gets nasty after wine. Are you sorry what you did in India or betraying Palestine? Sometimes rushing like a fool, I'll hold my hands up there, but I have nothing on the hastiness of Iraq and Tony Blair. I'm sorry you don't understand barter. We gave ye our lives, our land, and you gave us Nathan Carter. I'm sorry we're much loved and no one likes ye. But then ye did invade half the world, yet complain about immigrancy. Are you sorry for what you did? If ye are, you keep it hid. Well, it's nice to say you're sorry when you make a balls of it. I say it to every Brit. Are you sorry for what you did? Be like me and say you're sorry so, 'cause you made a balls of it. Are you sorry for what you did? If you are, you keep it hid, so well hid.
Coming soon, the greatest hits of the British Empire, including Barmastra Massacre, the Second Boer War concentration camps, famines in India, exacerbating the Irish famine, the international slave trade, the BRICS plan in Malaysia, British expedition to Tibet, partition, and my personal favorite, the Mao
I'm back. I'm glad nothing else fucking played. I'm glad I didn't play like fucking Tupac or some dumb bullshit. Fucking Eminem. Alright. Woo! Had to run to the basement real quick. Put some laundry to get done. Oh, okay. Let's check out.
For that, you have to think about the voters. You could be a leftist doing your little cute stream and go, "Oh, dude, I know, man, and there's no crime. It's but yeah, I know everything." Well, yeah, then why did Prop 36 win easily? Why did George Gascon lose? Why did all the progressives, so-called progressives in Portland lose, in Seattle lose, San Francisco lose, New York lose? Why did you lose every goddamn election if you know so much? No, because you know what? Because I'm such a genius. I have this revolutionary idea that apparently the online leftist clown asses I've never thought of. People don't like to be attacked. Then majority.
You attack everybody, dude. You attack everybody, Jank. Chunk yogurt.
Minority Report jumped in, and Lance from the Serfs, and all the other little dirtbags jumped in, and they were like, "No, James and Tanner are
I was a little hot on that mic.
The 13 douchebags are right.
Can
we need to protect every trans person should get free
Listen,
surgery.
we got.
Even in China, even though we don't have nothing to do with China,
You gotta
we
stop.
hate them. They're Nazis.
Bro, take Unk off the internet, guys. I'm sorry. You gotta take your uncles off the internet. You have my permission, my blessing. You can take him off the internet. Everybody get their unks off the internet now. No more unks on the internet. Unks don't deserve the internet. Unks don't deserve the internet at all. Be gone, all unks, from the internet.
Okay.
I mean, I'm 100% right. Every dirtbag show did it.
You gotta calm
Every
down.
dirtbag show did it. Tell me I'm wrong.
This is reframing an
You are not
issue
right.
That is, now we've moved away from the electoral consequences of a trans ad to your own personal anger and frustration that you have with left-wing media online.
Look, the idiots are making everyone think they are the left. They're like, we're the left, we're the real left. Okay, we are super extreme. We want free surgeries for every criminal. Yes, we're the left. And Nazi.
So I've covered TYT a fair bit on this channel recently with their weird centrist right-wing pivot, but I thought we'd talk about it again in light, of course, of Cenk going
Nazi,
on
Nazi,
Sar's
Nazi, Nazi, Nazi,
stream
Nazi, Nazi.
and talking more about, how much he hates the left and
That's so
quite
funny, dude.
weird
I gotta soundbite that shit. Nazi, 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 Nazi.
sucking up to
I
Elon
like that. I
Musk
like that a
and
lot.
groveling to MAGA people on Twitter. And a lot of people have been saying, and I've seen this, that this is like purely
I mean, I hate Nazis. That's why I like it. I want to make fun of them. You know what I mean? Fuck Nazis. Fuck Nick Fuentes. Fuck the right wing. Fuck Christian nationalism. Fuck all types of nationalism, honestly.
financial. And it's basically a grift. Like TYT
And
is
all religions.
pivoting towards the center because of financial incentive. And obviously, I'm not them. I don't know why they're doing it completely. But I don't really think this is as big of a factor as people say. I think genuinely, people like Cenk and Anna have had their brains like firmly broken by Twitter. And they wouldn't be the first at all. Like, I've made videos about Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk, and J.K. Rowling. All terrible people. And terrible people who didn't need Twitter to make them terrible. At the same time, the feedback loop of Twitter did radicalize these people. These echo chambers they created, the feedback loop of saying something and getting like an overwhelmingly positive reception, especially when you are voicing your grievance with like the left. And when Cenk and Anna say something against the left, then all of their replies are conservatives talking about how great they are now. So I want to talk about that because I firmly believe it's a couple things. Donald Trump has broken TYT's brain and Twitter has broken the brain of its hosts, where they now think that they can have a more productive relationship with far-right conservatives than they can with actual leftists. And also what I thought was funny about both of them, they seem to not actually understand politics at all, because I've seen they're both categorized. There's the populist left, which Cenk and Anna are and TYT are. Then there's the woke left, which is people like myself probably and other people with similar like left-wing politics. And then there's the corporate left, which is like the standard Democrats. And I don't understand why they think we don't care about like populist things, like policies that benefit everyone.
Right.
And Anna in particular has made me
The entire left is about like, that's what being a socialist and a communist and all that shit is about. It's about like policies that are really for the working class. Like, bro, Social Security, that shit's really good, bro. That's like, it has it in its name, Social Security, social. I mean, it is for like the working class to help old people and shit. You know what I mean? Unionization, help the working class. You know, communists want to own the means of production and shit, like, so that it's not a privatized industry. But, you know, a lot of people might not like that right now. That seems a little too radical. But that would help the working class, because then the working class will own all the means of production.
me realize, like, maybe these people weren't ever left-wing. She talked about recently, like, one of her Trump-supporting, like, neighbors.
Raising the minimum wage to, like, $20 an hour, or, like, 15 at least, hopefully. That would help the working class. That won't help the billionaires. That won't help the rich.
And they've been talking a lot more about, like, they regret demonizing all conservatives, right? And demonizing them all as, like, irredeemable and everything like that. And it's like, congratulations, you've discovered left-wing politics for the first time, where we realize people are brainwashed by the system, and we want to offer them better material conditions and basically try and break through the brainwashing, which makes them constantly vote against their own interest and prop up the powerful, right?
That's literally what the left is all about. Literally what he just said. We try to like help people. We try to give people health care. We try to give people all these things so that they don't need to be radicalized and stressed all day and made to think that the fucking immigrants are stealing their jobs, or black people, or whatever dumbass bullshit Fox News throws at us, you know?
That's what actual populists like myself, that's what we actually want. But they've convinced themselves, no, we are the enemy, the left wing are the enemy, and people like Elon Musk are the allies to take on the establishment. The richest man in the world who personally bankrolled an ex-president's campaign to become president again is the anti-establishment. So I'm going to talk about all of this today. Please like the video, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and check me out on social media at The Tabernacle, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, Threads, Twitter, on basically everything. And if you want to support my work, check out my Patreon as well. And let's get into the rest of the video. So although I've made videos criticizing TYT, I've also, if you've been following me long enough, I've told you guys how I've been personally influenced by TYT to start my YouTube channel in the first place. If you wanted some more like left-wing source of political news on YouTube, there really wasn't much around. Like, TYT has been big for a long, long time. At the same time, there wasn't really stuff to, you know, consume the news from like a left-wing perspective. And it served a good purpose in that regards. Like, lots of people who are YouTubers now, particularly ones who are in like the more like newsy space, they watch TYT, they've collabed with TYT. So it's something that I think had a good purpose. And although I've never like completely one-for-one agreed with the coverage, unlike how they depict us woke leftists, I didn't actually care, because I liked more of what they were saying than stuff I disagreed with, and it was a good way to get my US news, which I appreciated. And recently, since I've stopped watching them and I've switched to like the Majority Report for like US coverage, it is a bit of like whiplash, because the TYT show is like pretty well produced, more like a news show, very easy to get the information through Cenk and Anna if you just want the story, where something like the Majority Report is more like a live stream, like they're reacting to stuff, they are taking phone calls, and it's a lot less edited, which some people might like, but it's kind of hard to go from one thing to then the other.
That is true. When I used to listen to TYT all the time, it did take me a while to get used to the Majority Report. It's so much slower pace. It's less production. Yeah, it's exactly what he just said. It's way different, but it's so good though. I like it. I like it.
Without any sort of like adjustment period. I've done the adjustment period now, but I would also be lying if I said Majority Report perfectly fills the void that TYT left behind for me in terms of consuming US news on YouTube, because it doesn't. And if you can have like the old TYT back, where they weren't really reactionary against trans people and left-wing people, I would say that's a good thing, generally for the left online. So yeah, TYT had value to the left online, but we don't need them anymore. There's so many different shows to get your news from, and there's just so much left-wing content now. Like, I've been making YouTube videos since 2017, like very political left-wing ones since like late 2018. I remember there being like nothing else really. There was like a few creators, David Dole, Humanist Report, TYT, a couple others, and that was it. That was all you had. And now we have like a massive, I wouldn't call it an ecosystem, because we're not all connected as much as people would like to say, and I don't think, you know, despite our social media bubble, there's a lot of left-wing unity online. I certainly don't feel it beyond like the Twitter echo chamber. At the same time, it's good for people. It's good this has happened, and it's good we have so many different creators on the left that are big. You know, there are some bad ones. Some people who are, let's say, connoisseurs of lolicon.
Oh
But
yeah,
At
Vosh.
the same time, it's largely a positive. But now let's get back to Cenk, where the election has firmly broken their brain. So I said in a video before the election, Kamala Harris basically didn't run a campaign on policy, which upset some like weird liberals in my audience. I didn't think I had many liberals in my audience who were insisting that no, she had great policies and she would likely win the election. She didn't, and it's pretty clear why to most people on the left. She didn't promise anything, and if you're already part of an administration that is unpopular and you're not promising to change anything, you're saying you're the exact same as Joe Biden, who was a terrible president, then you're going to lose the election, right? Especially in a country like America, where there are so many glaring issues. They don't even have the bare minimum we have in places like Western Europe, which also has loads of problems, right? So you don't even have universal healthcare. Was there even a campaign on healthcare at all? Like, not really. Even like reforming the system. Again, very easy to, you know, pinpoint where the Kamala Harris campaign went wrong. But seemingly Cenk does understand that, but he's bizarrely started blaming woke leftists and trans people for Harris losing, which is just completely out of touch with reality and is based on his own personal grievances with people in the YouTube scene. So if I go on his Twitter, and I just start with this is insane, by the way. For someone who made so much content talking about Trump supporters and Donald Trump over the last like 9 years, for him to say this is crazy. So he tweets 4 days ago, "I've been trying to figure out why I'm more optimistic now than I was before the election, even though I was so against the guy who won. I know now, MAGA is not my mortal enemy, and neither is the extreme left, okay? My mortal enemy is the establishment, and they have been defeated. It's not just that the establishment candidate lost, it's that their media is mortally wounded. The source of their strength was not insipid politicians like McConnell and Biden. The source of their strength was their propaganda machine,
Wow.
mainstream media. Now online media is strong enough that their oppressive monopoly on the American mind has been broken. Now we're in the jungle and they hate..."
What a dumbass, bro. What a literal dummy. He's just switching sides.
It. I love it. This uncontrolled marketplace of ideas is where I'm home. I'd rather be in the populist woods than an establishment prison. So that is where Cenk is at right now. He's actually optimistic Donald Trump's won because it's a fuck you to the establishment, which does the establishment just not mean anything anymore? If he's saying it's a fuck you to the Democratic establishment, I'd agree, because yeah, of course, they rejected the establishment candidate. They didn't reject them in 2020, but they rejected them in 2016 as well. Rejected all these like status quo, bipartisan lover politicians or whatever. So I get it.
Yup.
They rejected the Democratic status quo. But how is Donald Trump not the status quo, right? So Donald Trump was the president. Donald Trump is a billionaire. Donald Trump is funded by Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the entire world. And if we're talking about mainstream news as well, Fox News is the most popular news channel by far in America. Who did they promote 24/7? Donald Trump as well.
Yup.
So there you go. Establishment press for Donald Trump. New York Post, establishment press. Rupert Murdoch press. Rupert Murdoch press were in the bag for Trump as well. So the right-wing establishment loves Donald Trump as well. Yes, Donald Trump wasn't the conventional politician in 2016. Donald Trump is sometimes having weird opinions about stuff, but at the same time, look at who he's appointed so far to his cabinet. Neocons, standard politicians like Marco Rubio, and then just like loads of nepotism hires like fathers-in-laws and son-in-laws and all that shit in like ambassador positions. It's pretty clear Donald Trump is the establishment as well. Him winning, using the sentiment sometimes of the anti-establishment, like maybe saying stuff about like anti-war, like bringing peace to the Middle East and Ukraine, that is just a rhetorical device he used. And you'd have to be an idiot, which Cenk seems to be, if you think MAGA conservatives actually care about what he does as president, right? No one is going to stop supporting Donald Trump if he goes back on his promises. Because we already know from the first time, this didn't happen before, right? Donald Trump promised loads of things and didn't do any of them. And they voted him in again after having another election where he nearly won and got an insane number of votes. So how is voting for Donald Trump any sort of fuck you to the establishment? It's not. It's just a different kind of establishment. Yeah, the mainstream political establishment of like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, maybe. MSNBC, maybe. Fox News, one of the biggest social media platforms, which became the Trump campaign in Twitter. Mark Zuckerberg became pro-Trump as well, and he runs most of the world's social media. And we have all of this stuff, and they all wanted Trump to win. So, again, your brain has been fully cooked by Twitter replies, and maybe reading too many libertarians on Twitter thinking they actually matter in the real world, to think that the establishment has been defeated by the US essentially going well on its way to becoming just like Russia. How is that a fuck you to the establishment? It really isn't. So just some more of his other tweets. So Cenk loved this. See, he goes, "Hey Elon Musk, put me in charge of the Pentagon and I'll slash $4 billion easy. That'll get you 20% to your goal of $2 trillion in cut in the Pentagon. Right out of the gate. I went to Wharton 3 years before you. I own a media company, so I know how to run a business. If you really want to cut, put me in, coach." Elon Musk basically rejecting him. Specific suggestions are welcome. Cenk says, "As you know, you need to see the line items in the budget, but I have one suggestion already. The generals are not allowed to get a job with defense contractors for 10 years. They authorize so much wasteful spending because they're going to get hired by those same companies." Donald Trump Jr. chimes in, "This is a great idea that has been discussed." So again,
Bro, they're just throwing you a fucking bone and you're eating it like a dickhead. You're eating it, and you're thinking that you're popular with them. Oh
he's
my
trying to appeal to
god.
MAGA here, saying, "I'm going to make my boldest prediction yet. I think at least half of Trump's base are actual populists and they will challenge him if he goes awry." Nope. No one on the left will believe me. Yep, they think everyone in MAGA is in a cult, which you actually pushed for years and years and years, and will follow Trump no matter what. I disagree. So what you're seeing with all these tweets and him appealing to Elon Musk is he thinks there is like a populist sentiment in America that we all share. And it's not just shared by like the population of America who might have voted for Donald Trump and, you know, they've fallen on hard times and they could actually be susceptible to messaging around class and bettering their material conditions and giving them healthcare, stuff like that, right? We're not talking about all those people. What Cenk is saying a lot with these people is Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. are good faith actors that when they say they want to cut the Pentagon budget or when they say they want to cut stuff and put that into like funding American programs, that they're actually sincere and it wasn't to get power. Like Elon Musk and Donald Trump have showed, Donald Trump especially was president for 4 years. I don't have to tell you he's untrustworthy and he's not going to do any of the good things that he said he might do. There's evidence that he didn't do anything, right? So what makes the difference this time? Why are you suddenly optimistic when a worse version of him has been put in power, where he has even worse people around him pushing him in an even worse direction? You would have fully had to have bought into the Trumpist propaganda about him being anti-war, about him being like anti-corporation or anti the deep state. He's none of those things. And he proved it. That's how I can say that. He proved it. And that's what happened in the first election. Some people voted for him because he would say stuff like, "I was against the Iraq war," and he would roast like Jeb Bush to his face about that. He would talk about how he was against like foreign wars, foreign intervention. And then when he got into power, he appointed all the same neocons that were in the Bush administration, and then he did more war than Obama, right? So when he does that, I don't think he's anti-war or pro-populist, or he's going to cut the Pentagon budget. He's probably going to
No, bro. They're gonna do like all the worst shit.
give him more money. But this is what I'm talking about, like Twitter echo chambers. Cenk has been like radicalized into believing that what he reads on Twitter from MAGA in his replies talking about this stuff is not reflective of the reality of politics and is not reflective of what Donald Trump's going to do. And no, he's not going to take your idea to cut the Pentagon budget, and he's probably not going to do that. He's probably not going to do that, and I would be surprised if Elon Musk is part of the administration for the whole time, because he's probably going to fire him as well. We know who Trump is. Let's stop pretending it's 2016 and he's an outsider and a bit unhinged and we don't understand what he's going to do. We saw what he did, and it was pretty much the exact same shit that Obama did and the exact same shit that Joe Biden did, like broadly 80%, with some more like horrible aspects, you know, things to do with like demonizing trans people, and as we've seen with different things he said he's going to do this time, lots of attacks on like civil rights of LGBT people, women, and everything like that. So that's all going to be worse. So what are you optimistic about? He's going to be a worse version of himself like 4 years ago? Like, that's a reason for optimism? So in the tweet and spree I read you, Cenk said that he thinks that like Elon Musk or Donald Trump would come on TYT. And what's interesting, when I'm seeing TYT like have more right-wing people on, I'm seeing Anna Kasparian go on like all the right-wing podcasts, you're thinking like, why don't you invite some leftists on your show? Like, if you are a show that likes balance, if you're a show that wants to hear from everyone, where are the left-wing guests? Like, why aren't you inviting left-wing people on? Now, first of all, Sam Cedar actually said recently that him and Cenk had been speaking this year, and Sam said he would either go on TYT or Cenk was welcome to come on the Majority Report, and he says Cenk just turned him down.
The last, you know, any type of communication I had with Cenk was, I think, like in July, and it was in response to like the, I don't know, fourth or fifth thing that I had seen that I found sort of offensive and wrong. And to be honest with you, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was about trans stuff, but it could also have been about, you know, they're chasing that fake Venezuelan story. I don't remember when it was.
Yup.
Maybe that was in the fall, so maybe it was not that. It was probably the trans.
Bro, they're chasing. I told you guys, they're chasing that fake ass Venezuelan story, and the trans story, all the stuff, bro. Let's finish this.
And I made it clear to Cenk that he was invited to come on the show, and you know, we can have a debate, we can discuss whatever. I mean, you know, and he made it clear to me that he was not interested in that. He was mad. He was very, very mad about all of it. And I will just say, like, I didn't hear any issue that he had with the stuff that we talk about. He may have issues with me personally. That's fine. I don't care.
So that's clearly like not happening, and there's some bad blood between them where Cenk seems to hate Sam Cedar because, yeah, a lot of left-wing people are attacking TYT hosts for saying reactionary right-wing things because you're on our side with a massive platform, and we're going to criticize you when you say that stuff, and if you react negatively, that's on you. And what we're seeing with both of them is their politics are being informed by who's nice to them. So Donald Trump Jr. and Elon Musk replied to Cenk on Twitter, so he thinks they're right, actually, where left-wing people like myself...
Don't base your politics on that. Do not base your politics on who is nice to you. Please do not. Some of the nicest people are the most evil motherfuckers when you find out, like, behind the scenes. Bro, some of the nice, they come off nice. Some people are fucking evil. And they're not gonna tell you. Please be careful, guys. Please don't base your politics on that.
Have been attacking them and criticizing them, so they actually hate all of them. And he actually said as much to Hassan recently on their Cenk's Giving debate stream they do every year on Thanksgiving, So listen to this.
Also gotten mad at me as well, time and time again, on specific issues, maybe ones that even pertain to trans rights. Okay, it literally doesn't matter. People get very passionate, understanding. I'm very
It's
understanding.
shocking agreement. I agree. There's
I
13
understand-
douchebags
I underst-
online. That's what I said from day one.
I know, but why the would you ever hyper focus on
Okay, but
people
Haas,
like
because
that?
you look, no. So you might be
No,
doing the
you're
right
doing-
thing. Hold on.
You're doing the
on
Bill
your
Maher
show-
thing.
No,
You're
bullshit,
demanding that there needs to be a sister
bullshit.
No, you're
Hold
doing
on,
the
let me
sister
explain.
soldier moment.
Reasonable things on Earth, which you now agree with, apparently. Then what happened? It wasn't just the 13 douchebags online. And by the way, everybody said, no. Those 13 douchebags represent all the left. You're not on the left anymore because the 13 douchebags control the left. And then what happened next? Then Majority Report jumped in, and Lance from the Serbs, and all the other little dirtbags jumped in, and they were like, "Yes, Jack and Anna are turning right. The 13 douchebags are right. We need to protect every trans person should get free
listen,
surgery.
we got
even in China, even though we have nothing to do with China,
You gotta
we
stop.
hate them. They're Nazis.
You gotta okay.
I mean, I'm 100%.
Bro went from talking about the left on Twitter to talking about China and Nazis. What the fuck?
Right, every dirtbag show did it.
You gotta calm
Every
down.
dirtbag show did it.
Your own personal anger and frustration that you have with left-wing media online. We are
So do you agree left-wing media online, those guys that I listed are full of shit?
I have
and in a tiny, stupid minority?
I have
damn.
disagreements with everyone in this space, but there's a reason why seemingly I don't catch the same amount of strays that you do because I don't hyper
I can tell you why.
Bro, Jank Yuger looks like my fucking dad, guys. It's crazy, dude. Jank Yuger looks like my dad mixed with my Theo, yo. But he looks like my dad. That's crazy.
What do you think it is?
They think you're hot, young. I don't mean attractive. God bless on that, okay? I'm also obviously hot. I mean, as in they think, the young people watch Hassan. He's cool. And you give the thing of like, no, trans people are right on everything, right? You don't come out and make the distinctions that Anna and
Ignore the fucking hair loss from all the fucking stress.
I made. Okay, so they think, no, he's good. He's extreme as we are.
I think
he's woke left. Yay, extremeness.
I think the reason, first of all, you're
okay. By the way, Majority Report and all of you guys, you better attack him. He apparently agrees with me. Okay, you better attack him. You're not going to attack him, are you?
You're hyper personalizing this into like criticisms that you've
comes
received.
and punches you in the face 12 times, and you go, what? Why are you hyper personalizing it?
Because
just because I called you a Nazi, now it's personal to you.
That meltdown is really funny, but I also think it's so telling, right? He cares so much about what everyone else says about him. And what is so insane about this is when Anna Kasparian originally wrote that like birthing person tweet, because obviously I follow like all, the left-wing YouTubers, I saw in real time them all offering good faith criticism. I personally know a couple of them who actually like DM'd Anna Kasparian and talked to her in the DMs about this and why it was wrong and misinformed. And then when they started doubling down on it and going after other leftists, like Cenk going after Lance from the Serfs and stuff, that's when people got a bit more, I wouldn't even call it spicy. People just saying, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you attacking people that if you actually care about pushing a message on an election, these people actually agree with you on most things? We're talking about, like, just US electoral politics and what people want, let's say, like, universal healthcare and all that crap. These people agree with you, but you're going after them, and then you're saying you're optimistic because MAGA won. Do you not understand how much your brain has been rotted? If you're coming after, like, left-wing people who, let's keep it real, aren't, like, radical communists, right? He's going after Sam Cedar and the Majority Report. Like, I'm an actual communist, right? I like Majority Report, and I think they're sympathetic to more socialist messaging. Sam Cedar is not some sort of radical communist, though, and he has plenty of criticism for these people.
Yeah.
And it drives them mad. Just because left-wing people are not conceding on a right-wing culture war framing of trans rights. So yeah, Cenk has clearly got a lot of heat for the online left based on people being mean to him on Twitter, right? But I think people like Cenk and Anna, they don't live in the real world anymore. And that's why, like, Anna Kasparian's talking a lot about, like, talking to Trump supporters in her real life and it being such a revelation. These people have lived online for so long, they don't realise what normal people believe, right? especially with things like trans rights versus like, you know, derailing economic populism. I made a video recently where I outlined in 2008 they're like very racist people voting for Obama based on the economy. And I'm sure Cenk would agree with that. But Kamala Harris didn't either campaign on any economic issue or social issue, right? She wasn't standing up for trans rights in a massive way and making it part of her campaign, right? So you can't blame, firstly, that issue for her losing, and you can't blame left-wing people on Twitter and YouTube for making her lose because of this.
But you idiots hate policy. All you want is identity politic bullshit, and you think that drives ratings, and you want me to show humility to those morons? None online who are like, oh my God, if you don't agree to free surgeries for every trans person on planet Earth, you're a Nazi. Well, you know those people exist, and those people, that is the radical left, and they are stupid, and they do cause...
First of all, you dumb bitch. Jank, everybody should have free healthcare in the first place, and that would include genital or whatever the fuck you said surgery. So shut the fuck up. Everybody should have free healthcare.
No, you're hyper focusing, and I've had this conversation privately with you many times over. You are hyper focusing on people that are in your replies on Twitter, and
So
because
you agree
that's
with
all
me,
you
that radical left
because
is bullshit,
all you interact
stupid dumbasses. Do you agree?
So Cenk blaming left-wing media, leftists, people who stick up for trans rights for the Democrats losing an election, when the Democrats don't even represent leftists at all, is just absolutely insane behavior. And he's fully been radicalized by his own Twitter echo chamber, where because left-wing people are mean to him, he thinks they're bad and extreme. Because right-wing people are nice to him when he shits on Democrats, they're actually reasonable, and there's optimism to be had with Donald Trump becoming president again. There should be no optimism with Donald Trump becoming president, regardless of what he ran on. So yeah, like TYT is probably just going to keep spiraling and hemorrhaging viewers. I don't think Republicans and centrists are going to flock to TYT because they have their media bubbles. They don't want someone who might say something maybe more left-wing that they disagree with. They just want their echo chamber, and they're not going to subscribe to TYT. So I don't know where they're going with this. I don't think it's financial, but it could become financial. And it's just so funny. They've been demonizing people like Jimmy Dore for the longest time. This is exactly what Jimmy Dore did. He went anti-establishment, anti-West everything, and then he just started supporting Republicans because of this. And that's what they're doing right now. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.
Hey, that was good. All right.
I can't match the energy with my uncle. I love him. It's not going to happen. You know, I'm not going to be combative.
What should we watch now? Let me see. What shall we watch now, boys? Oh shit. Bad Hasbara. No, Bernie Sanders did not go full MAGA, you dipshit. What the fuck, Jola? Destiny Orbiters actually crashes on Cambridge Talk.
Now it's time for some questions from the audience.
Hi, Huxley. I know the down in college. I've been for many years. I thought to ask, what's your view on global south protest over West? Because obviously we took hearing news about their consolidation in the West. What should we be about when we care about global south?
I mean, I think all things considered, the prospects of the global south is definitely trending in a more positive direction than the rest of the world. And I think that has somewhat to do with Chinese initiatives as well. They're offering more favorable loans. They're engaging in development because they're in.
Let's check this out. There was a
Alright, guys, bear
CEO.
with me here, just doing a video off the top
Some CEO got shot with like a silenced pistol or some shit.
of the dome. Earlier today, the United Healthcare CEO was killed in a premeditated murder. It appeared to be very professionally done. The person was able to hide their identity. They were able to use a silencer on their pistol. They hopped on a bike and got out of there real quick.
God damn.
This CEO was going to some sort of a meeting. I actually think he was going to discuss some kind of a merger. And just before 7 a.m. in New York City, in the middle of the city, he pulled up, killed him with a pistol, with a silencer, shot him in the back, walked away, hopped on a bike, got out of there, and escaped to Central Park. As of the recording of this video, I do not know if he's been found yet. There's no reporting that he has been found. It's very possible that this dude ends up getting away. And so I wanted to wait a little bit to make this video to get a little more information about the motive of the guy who did the shooting. Of course, the initial reaction from myself and many others is like, motive, we know what the motive is. This is not a difficult one to determine. It almost certainly is a client of United Health. Remember, this is a big health insurance company. And United Health, for example, is number one among the insurance companies with denying claims. Namely, they don't pay out in many instances. If you have some sort of a problem, you need funding, you have a surgery, they reject more claims than any other health insurance company. So, of course, the initial reaction is there's got to be a disgruntled client of United Health and basically getting retribution because, you know, whatever, fill in the blank. The person's wife was denied their claim, or they went bankrupt as a result of United Health denying their claim, or any of a number of nightmare scenarios that unfortunately impact many Americans. Remember, guys, medical bankruptcy is the number one cause of bankruptcy in this country. So I thought it's got to be that, right? But then on the other hand, I was like, well, you know, it's also possible that, I don't know, this executive dude was a gambler, got into debt with the wrong people, like maybe some mob-related type stuff, and then this was like a professional hit that was done because he didn't pay back his own debts from gambling debt or whatever the hell it might be, right? So I wanted to wait a little bit before I recorded this video to get some sort of validation. As of right now, we don't have full verification, but we do know that this CEO's wife came out and said, yeah, he'd been getting threats for a while because of what he does for a living, because he's the CEO of United Health, and there's all these claims that are denied, and people are furious, and medical bills are the number one cause of bankruptcy, and he had been getting threats for a while. And so,
damn,
I
bro.
think everybody's initial reaction is probably correct, that it's somebody who was denied for whatever reason, had a nightmare scenario with United Health. And here's the thing, man. If you're
Or maybe somebody didn't want the merger to happen. Ooh?
to narrow down who did this solely based off of who's disgruntled and who hates United Healthcare, you're down to, what, tens of millions of Americans? Because I don't know about you guys, but everybody I know has some sort of horrific story with our health insurance system. So let me explain, for those of you who don't understand, let me explain the way health insurance works in this country, okay? Health insurance is nothing but a mafia middleman in between you and your doctor. So you sign up for it, every month you pay them, and then when you actually need them, they go, yeah, maybe not, we'll cover it, submit a claim, right? Hey, does it fall under the list of things that we pay out for? And so basically all they do, get them between you and your doctor, skim off the top, get profit for themselves, and of course the way these corporations function is they want to maximize profit as much as humanly possible. And they have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to maximize profit as much as possible. So think about it. In the realm of health insurance, how do you make the most money that you possibly can? This isn't difficult. Deny as many claims as possible. Charge as much as you can, and then deny as many claims as you possibly can. And there are whole departments for these insurance companies where they try to find loopholes and reasons to not pay out in your moment of need.
Wow.
When you actually desperately need health care. So, look, I have to say, the surprising thing about this is that it didn't happen sooner. Is that there haven't been,
More of
by
these.
this point, dozens of examples of health insurance executives getting murked on a regular basis. And what I said to Crystal after this happened is, look, this is, so the right-wing reaction when somebody loses it, I mean, we've seen it a couple times where some right-winger will go to like an FBI office or something and will try to shoot up the FBI office. I remember that happened a few times when Trump was president. And it's like, okay, that person lost it, and they blamed the FBI for their problems. They blamed the deep state for their problems. That's what they're doing. This is somebody having that same mental snap, but they connected the dots in a different way. They connected the dots to who is actually making their life a living hell.
Yup.
If you've gone through medical bankruptcy, I'm sure you are absolutely furious. Your blood is boiling. You have seething anger that, you know, your life and your finances were effectively ruined because a health insurance company didn't want to pay out on a claim, right? If you lost a loved one because of shenanigans with health insurance companies where they're not paying out or whatever it may be, you're furious, right? So I'm surprised this hasn't happened more often. I'm surprised we don't hear about, in an attempted shooting against a different health insurance CEO or, you know, the big banks and the people who are responsible for foreclosing on countless people. I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often. Because again, the right-wing version of it is, I don't know, my life sucks, I guess I'm mad at the deep state, right? I'll go attack the FBI building. This is somebody who just connected the dots and said, wait, this is the real enemy. The real enemy are these. So, look, it was going to happen. This was going to happen.
Yup.
If you screw people over long enough, if you deny them care, if you price gouge them, if we have effectively a broken health care and health insurance system, this was going to happen. And guess what? It's going to happen more. This is only one of Lord knows how many moving forward, because if people start to actually connect the dots, they're going to realize who's really ruining their lives, right? How the profit motive has ruined this country. How, in many instances, things that should not be in the realm of capitalism, in the realm of profit, in this country, we privatize almost everything we can, right? With few exceptions. We even have private prisons in this country. There's public prisons, but of course there's private prisons. But what a perverse incentive structure. You're going to have private prison lobbyists lobby the government to make more things illegal or come up with things like 3 strikes laws. And the whole point is, let's get more asses in more beds behind more bars to make more profit. The profit motive doesn't belong in the conversation about prisons.
Wow, yeah.
The profit motive doesn't belong in the conversation around health and health care. Virtually every other developed country has found a way to do this in a more intelligent way, where they say, look, capitalism can't handle this, the profit motive can't handle this. We can't have for-profit health insurance companies. That's crazy. You're just incentivizing people to get price gouged and for people to have their care denied.
For real.
And so that's what a single payer system is. It's no for-profit private insurance. It's the single payer is the single insurer. That's the government. So in other words, your health care gets funded through everybody's tax dollars. We all pool our money together. Anybody who needs health care gets health care, and it comes directly from the government. The government is the single insurer for everybody. And now it looks like everything's coming to a head, right? Because, again, number one cause of bankruptcy is medical bills. They denied more claims than any other company. There was another article or story that came out today around the same time, which said this guy brought in reforms that made it so AI overrides actual doctors.
Oh my God.
So a doctor might say, this is legit, the insurance company needs to pay out on this claim, you know, we're doing X, Y, or Z with this patient. And this guy had an AI system that would say, no, the doctor's wrong, we're not going to pay out on this.
Wow.
Like, what did you expect to happen, right? Like, what did you expect to happen? Did people think you could just screw everybody over from now until the end of time, and that would be the end of it, and people would just tuck their tail in between their legs and walk away with their head down? Like, is that what you thought? Because that's not the reality. By the way, everybody needs to notice something here. So there's a video of it. I'm not going to show the video, but there's a video of it, of the shooting happening. And go read the comments. Go read the comments underneath the video, wherever it's posted. I think it's on YouTube, it was on Twitter, it was a number of different places. You read the comments.
Everybody's shitting on the CEO.
People are going inski. Not against the killer. Not against the killer. Now, why? Why did that happen? Did everybody wake up today and decide they're randomly pro-murder? Is that what happened? Do you think that's the...
People are suffering, bro. People are suffering out here in the streets. My camera? Yo, this fucking camera, dude. People are suffering out here in, like, you know, in the real world. But, like, of course you're gonna get fucking killed if you have all these stupid ass insurance policies like that. You probably killed mad people. You took a lot of lives with that.
The reason they're doing it? No, people are reacting like that because they understand how broken and grotesque and backwards this vicious system is that puts people through a meat grinder and acts like it's normal, right? See, this is the thing. For some reason, there are plenty of people who, when they think of violence, when they think of a crime, they think of like, okay, look, just an individual who goes and robs a convenience store, let's say. And that's bad, and that's wrong, and that's condemnable, and everybody condemns it and all that, right? Great, okay. But oftentimes, there is systemic violence, which some people bake into the cake, into their mental model of how the world works. And therefore, they just sort of write it off. Like systemic violence, that's part of how things are done, it just is what it is. Almost like, oh, I guess there's nothing you can do about it, right? But that's kind of a trick that society plays on you. And it's not true that there's nothing you can do about it. There's always something you can do about it. And so this is just people finally being fed up with the fact that we have systemic violence in this country, which is viewed as acceptable because the people perpetrating it are billionaires on Wall Street wearing nice suits and nice ties and speaking properly and walking around the cocktail circuit, right? There's a weird thing that happens where some people accept that passively. Like,
when you like have all these restrictive insurance things that get people killed because they get denied for all these insurances, they go bankrupt, they lose their whole livelihoods. That is systemic violence. You're doing violence on people in a different way. Not literally by hitting them and shit, but you're doing violence on them and ruining their lives. Systemically. Systems can hurt people. Systems hurt people too.
I guess if the violence is just part of a system where there's a health insurance company and the health insurance company gets to reject my claim and I go bankrupt for medical bills, or there's all sorts of fuckery and I don't end up getting the care I need because of the health insurance company and my wife dies or whatever, well, I guess that's okay. Well, no. There's also plenty of people who have woken up and they say, no, that's not okay. And systemic violence is not only equally as condemnable as the random acts of individual violence, which we just talked about, like robbing a convenience store or whatever. In many instances, it's worse. It is worse to have the violence baked into the system and everybody just passively and casually accepts it. That can be worse. That can be worse. It's like the idea of one random murderer who goes and kills somebody, right? So, you know, everybody easy, oh, okay, that's bad, that's wrong, we don't agree with that. But put a uniform on that person, say they represent an official government, put the veneer of seriousness around it with different laws and rules and, you know, pass a resolution saying we are declaring war on country X, Y, or Z, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I guess that's more legit, I guess that's more serious. And like, well, it depends, doesn't it? It depends. Who are you fighting? What are you fighting them for? Is it defensive? Okay, I guess that's fine. But if it's something like we're seeing in Gaza right now, for example, where Israel is just massacring innocent women and children on a regular basis, well, we're supposed to say it's okay because the IDF soldiers are wearing uniforms and the children they're killing are not wearing uniforms?
That's how I feel about the whole Cuba conflict. We're embargoing Cuba, embargoing them, not letting them fucking buy food and shit, and we're doing that because of communism or because they're breeding terrorism or whatever the fuck. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Systemic violence. Fuck America.
That's systemic violence. State-sponsored violence. System-approved violence. And I think we're at a boiling point now in this country where people are onto the trick and they understand that system-approved violence is still violence. There is no institution more violent than health insurance. You could say maybe the military, right? That might be one example. Maybe the private prison industry. That would be another example. Mercenary armies, so like private armies, that may be another example. But the whole point of private insurance is a unnecessary, for-profit, rapacious mafia middleman that robs you and gets in between you and your doctor, price gouges you, and then tries by any means necessary to deny you care. By the way, what does that even mean? If somebody's sick and they go to the hospital and they need help, you need to submit paperwork explaining exactly what's wrong, and then somebody gets to choose whether or not to pay out on that claim, even though you've been paying every month to that health insurance company? So you give them money every month. Let's get this straight. You give them money every month. Something happens. You go to get help. Then somebody looks at it and goes, we're not going to pay out on this for reasons X, Y, and Z. I mean, you're just asking for a revolution. You're just asking for violence. You're just asking for people to violently dismantle that system.
Yup.
Because that is a violent system. That is violence. So, I don't know, man. This is, I can't recall any other example of some health insurance company CEO getting killed. But I have to say, my reaction was like, I'm kind of surprised this is the first one I've heard of. You know? This is something I would kind of expect moving forward, insofar as people are connecting the dots as to who's really ruining their life and bankrupting them and casually accepting the death of their loved ones without doing everything possible in order to prevent it. Right? So...
Yep. You get what you get.
It's dark, bro. It's dark. I mean, these companies, these health insurance companies, make billions of dollars in profit. Billions. The CEOs make millions and millions. They deny so many claims, and they're price gouging you all along. The fact of the matter is, in any reasonable system, for-profit health insurance companies wouldn't exist. We would have a single-payer system. You know, everything would get paid out by the government through our tax dollars. If you ask me, man, hey, make a system from scratch, prioritize what should be funded by our tax dollars, literally at the top of that list is health insurance. Everybody's health care gets covered by this money, right? I'd much rather give my money for health care for people than give my money for corporate welfare and subsidies for billionaires like Elon Musk, or endless war like funding Israel as they bomb babies in Gaza. You know, I'd much rather have my money go towards the necessities, the bare minimums. You know, make sure everybody has whatever, social security check, make sure the roads are paved, make sure we have police to keep people safe, but also make sure everybody has health care. And so, there you go. By the way, don't take my word for it, you go look. You go look at the comments underneath all the places where this video is posted of this person murdering this United Health executive CEO. You go look. Go read the replies. Go read the comments. People are joking about it. People are outwardly saying, like, hey, you fucked around and you found out. Stuff like that. That's what people are saying. So where does that phenomenon come from? That's my question for you. Did all these people wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm pro-random murder? Is that what happened? Did everybody wake up and decide that? Or are there people who are connecting the dots and they're saying, hey, we're onto it. This system is organized violence. This is systemic
Literally.
violence, and it's ruined countless lives.
Literally.
And we want it to end.
Literally.
So we'll see. I mean, look, I guess there's still a small chance that this murderer did it for other reasons. Like I said, the theory I came up with was there's a small chance it's possible this executive had gambling debt or whatever, and the mob.
We'll see, bro. If he killed him for losing a loved one, go for it, bro. Hey,
very professional, right?
I ain't doing that shit, but if you...
I think the default theory everybody's going with right now is it's somebody whose life was ruined or they lost a loved one or whatever directly because of United Health, and they're like, fuck it, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Because according to the system, what these guys do is legal and acceptable. It is legal to price gouge you on the front end and deny you care on the back end. It's legal, right? So, I don't know, man. There's a lot of anger at the system. It's absolutely understandable anger. And, you know, you need a release valve, right? That's what FDR's New Deal was. FDR's New Deal was like, people are angry, they're pissed, There's going to be pitchforks in the street. There's going to be a revolution. The United States is going to go full communist. Let's not have that. Let's
I
have a
wish.
release valve here. Let's do the New Deal. Let's get people working. Let's set up the social safety net. You know, let's tax the wealthy and redistribute to regular people. Like, you needed a release valve. Well, guess what? It has been decades and decades and decades since we've had a release valve, right? Obamacare was okay. It was a slight movement in the right direction. It was better than no reform at all. But at the same time, you still kept the core of the cancer in the system. The core of the cancer being for-profit health insurance. And so, look, it looks... Again, this is what happens. I'm surprised there's not more of it. And there very well may be more of it, right? Because you put your middle finger up to people for so long and said, shut up and accept the systemic violence. This is the reaction, bro. It's like a law of nature. Getting mad at it is like getting mad at the weather, right? Do something to actually address the core of the problem. We need to nationalize health insurance and make sure everybody has health care and nobody gets denied a claim for any fucking bullshit reason and nobody's price gouged on the front end and denied on the back end. It's not that difficult, right? It's not that difficult, but we're so used to having this capitalist hellscape where everything's got to be for a profit, everything's got to be to make a buck, and people get rich off your misery.
God damn.
This is what happens.
All right.
There you have it. I'll give you more updates if/when we get them, but
That's crazy, bro.
that's what it is.
Let's check this out. Elon Musk plans to take over MSNBC.
So there's some serious chatter that Elon Musk might actually buy MSNBC. He was flirting with the idea on Twitter. And remember, when he purchased Twitter, that's how it started. It started with him flirting with the idea on Twitter. And so this is definitely something to take seriously, but let's get into some specifics here. Elon Musk floats buying MSNBC, but he's not the only billionaire who may be interested. Elon Musk has called MSNBC the utter scum of the earth. He has said the channel peddles puerile propaganda. Right, as opposed to him, who certainly doesn't peddle puerile propaganda. And Fox News, which of course doesn't do propaganda either. These are angelic outlets that always tell the truth. But no, it's MSNBC's the problem. Just a few days ago, he said, quote, MSNBC is going down. And now he is posting memes about buying the channel. Conventional wisdom holds that Musk, the world's richest man and key Trump ally, and his friends are just joking.
What
But
a
Musk's
loser,
closer.
bro. He's gonna buy everything because he's literally the richest fucking man in the world. That's so stupid. How is this shit allowed?
Adding to the anxiety that MSNBC staffers are feeling about the re-election of Trump and the recently announced spin-off of Comcast cable channels. So yeah, guys, they are MSNBC, as we understand it, is done. It's over. They're becoming a spin-off channel, so they're kind of on their own. They're not under that umbrella of NBC anymore. That's kind of a big deal. I spent Sunday on the phone with sources to gauge what might be going on. I learned that more than one benevolent billionaire with liberal bona fides has already reached out to acquaintances at MSNBC to express interest in buying the cable channel. The inbound interest was reassuring, one of the sources said, since it showed that oppositional figures like Musk, who famously bought Twitter to blow it up, would not be the only potential suitors. But contrary to claims that Trump's allies are posting on X, Comcast has not put a for sale sign on MSNBC's door. Yeah, but they are spinning it off, which is sort of a defeat in and of itself, because it's not going to be the same as it was, right? There are changes coming. If Comcast chief Brian Roberts really wanted to sell the liberal cable news channel, he could have done that already. Instead, he is moving MSNBC and half a dozen other cable channels to SpinCo, a pure-play cable programming company. The hope is that spinning off the pressured but profitable channels will boost shares of both Comcast and SpinCo. Comcast says the transaction will take about a year. At that point, could someone swoop in with a bid for MSNBC? It's complicated. SpinCo is structured as a tax-free spinoff, and immediately divesting an asset would have tax implications that could forestall any such sale. Quote, typically we would expect a 2-year waiting period before any potential further strategic action by the SpinCo to preserve the tax-free nature of the spin, although we believe there are scenarios where industry consolidation, including SpinCo, could happen earlier. Analyst Benjamin Swinburne of Morgan Stanley wrote in a note to investors
What the
last week.
fuck?
Plus, SpinCo executives may well conclude that offloading MSNBC is not in the best interest of shareholders since the channel's loyal audience is a form of leverage in negotiations with cable distributors. Executives involved with the spinoff say they intend to be predators, not prey, buying new channels, selling off old ones bit by bit. Selling MSNBC to win favor with the president-elect is simply not the plan. I have sensed quite a bit of enthusiasm at MSNBC about SpinCo, actually, because the new structure should allow for more investment into MSNBC, CNBC, and other brands. That is cope. That's cope. It's just cope.
We would be
Damn.
spinning them off if everything was all hunky dory, right? Like they're problems. That's why they're spinning them off. The audience has cratered nearly 50%, bro. 50%. Which is crazy because you would think in the wake of a Trump victory, it would be like 2016 where numbers went up. They did not go up, right? And look, I think one of the reasons is, I think Crystal made this point the other day, and it's totally true, is that in the MSNBC framework, they actually don't have answers as to how Trump could have won, right? There is no broad ideological project outside of just anti-Trumpism. And so people are sort of like, okay, well, fuck off. You guys were wrong, and it didn't work, and now we're not interested, right? And so at the same time you see those sorts of outlets crumbling, you actually see online liberal and left media getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Let's
I can't tell you how
go.
many MSNBC refugees are now part of this audience, right? Because we have something to say in reaction to a Trump victory, and we have plans moving forward as to how to deal with that. All right, let's continue. Musk's allies pile on. That said, Musk's posts shouldn't be ignored. He famously foreshadowed his pursuit of Twitter with a tweet that asked, "How much is it?" On Friday, he similarly asked of MSNBC, "How much does it cost?" He was responding to Trump Jr., who posted a meme that falsely said MSNBC is for sale and wrote, "Hey, Elon Musk, I have the funniest idea ever." Rogan jumped in and said, "If you buy MSNBC, I would like Rachel Maddow's job." He misspelled her name? Seriously? "I will wear the same outfit and glasses, and I will tell the same lies." Because, you know, Rogan on his own podcast, he always gets the truth out there, right? Jesus, it's so insufferable now. He's just a Republican now. Like, you're just a Republican, Joe. There's nothing special or interesting or unique or different. You're just a Republican.
Yep,
Okay.
he's
The
a
trio's
Republican.
fans ate it up, and Musk kept posting about the idea all weekend long. At one point, promoting a homophobic meme that equated Rachel Maddow with Mark Cuban. I don't know if I go as far as say that's homophobic. Anyway, but let's continue. By Sunday, Trump Jr. wrote, "I think I started something here. The amount of people that want this to happen is incredible." Former Florida Representative Matt Gaetz replied, "I 100% want this to happen. The mockery is the point, and maybe it's nothing more than that." While Musk and his friends trade memes and crack each other up, there's a serious undercurrent here. It's known as media capture. This happened in Hungary when far-right Prime Minister Viktor Orban's close allies also purchased private television and radio outlets to convert them into pro-government outlets. Media capture is a subset of what Protect Democracy Executive Director Ian Bassin calls autocratic capture, where the government uses its power to enforce loyalty from the private sector. On a recent episode of Vanity Fair's Inside the Hive, Bassin said, "I think we are in danger of seeing that happen across the American marketplace in all sorts of sectors." Gabor Shearing, a former member of the Hungarian parliament, wrote in a new essay for Politico magazine that Orban consolidated media control through centralized propaganda, marketing pressure, and loyal billionaires.
We're so
In the US, he wrote,
fucked.
"Liberal-minded billionaires should not sit idly by, as they did in Hungary, watching the right take over the media." So then they bring up, hey, would Cuban be interested in getting involved here? Here's the bottom line. If this happens, if it goes through, that Elon Musk or somebody similar ideologically to him, some right-wing asshole, buys MSNBC, it would be all of TV news, cable news,
Right wing.
all of it would either be outright Republican/Trump propaganda,
Yep.
like Fox News, like Newsmax, like One American News Network, or it would be mealy-mouthed, both sides bullshit. False equivalence networks like CNN.
Yep.
That's what you'd have. Not only would you not have a leftist voice, you wouldn't even have a liberal voice. You wouldn't have a liberal voice. That would be devastating. Now, at the same time, I think it'd be good for outlets like ours online, where more people come in, but I still think the overall impact on the body politic would probably be negative. And so, look, a part of the problem here is even if a liberal billionaire gets involved and were to eventually buy MSNBC, the liberals have a bit of an issue, right? Because it's like, okay, sure, you can put a network up there that just cheerleads the Democratic Party. That's not enough. I mean, that's what MSNBC was. It wasn't enough, right? On the right, with Fox News, they have a truly ideological project. It is truly ideological. They have their things that they fight for. They,
Yeah, the left is not all in the where the left should be. Like, we are progressive leftists, right? We're socialists, communists, other, you know, social democrat, democratic socialist, blah, 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 anarchists. But, like, still, we are not like a cohesive project like the right wing is, where they have Turning Point USA, the Daily Wire, blah blah blah. They have all of these right-wing fucking shit posting like corporations. The left doesn't. The Democrats don't work with the left. This goes to the same conversation we were having yesterday with the Rashad Crenshaw stream, where like he was even saying this too, that the left doesn't. It's not a cohesive body. We're not like a symbiotic organism.
Shit on trans people. They shit on immigrants all the time. It's completely backing Trumpism. It's all
The
about
liberals, the fucking centrist, they don't like the left. They don't like us. But we need to work together. But they're fucking acting like Republicans. You know, you see what I mean?
tax cuts, right? Like
Capitalist fuckheads.
This is what it is. The projecting American power overseas. Like they have their thing. If on the MSNBC side it's just really like rah-rah Democrats and boo Republicans, we need an ideological project on the left. We need like an actual politics around division. We need a politics with a core to it. And liberal billionaires, I'm sorry, I don't think they wouldn't fund leftists. And the reason is leftists actually want to tax billionaires more. We want to tax billionaires more. We want to reduce income and wealth inequality. We want universal health care for everybody. We want to get private money out of the political system and do clean elections so that we actually have elections around ideas and not varying corrupt factions. This is the problem, right? Even if you advocate for just social democracy, that takes a lot of power away from the plutocrats, the oligarchs, the billionaires, even the liberal ones. And so that's why it's like they always have to stop at just the Democratic Party or liberalism. And they will not go beyond that to create a leftist channel. But that's the problem, right? Because an actual leftist channel, that would get the eyeballs. That would get interest. That would be able to mirror the success of Fox News on the left. But they can't do that because it threatens capital. It threatens power. And no billionaire is going to want to threaten capital and threaten power. That's the problem. There's a permanent imbalance. So, but I'm telling you, having said all that, it will be objectively worse to have MSNBC get bought by Elon Musk or other right-wing billionaires. Because then you don't even have like a Democratic voice or a liberal voice, never mind a leftist voice, among the TV networks. And I honestly, I don't buy the notion that like, well, you know, TV is going to be completely irrelevant anyway very shortly. That's not true. A lot of older people, it's all older people who watch TV, and older people vote across the board.
They vote a lot.
They don't, you know, younger people are more likely to pick and choose when to do it. And so the narratives that come out of mainstream media have a tremendous amount of sway. And so we would really be in the darkness, in the wilderness, for quite a while in a scenario like this. So look, I just hope that doesn't happen. But having said that, even just the fact that this is now going to be a spinoff, MSNBC, it already sort of means like we're getting to the point where it's either both sides bullshit and pro-Republican, pro-Trump stuff. So the damage is probably already done. It would just be worse if Elon Musk gets involved. So just be prepared, guys, and spread the word that there is a safe haven out there somewhere. It's online. It's right here. There's others in this space who do stuff very, very similar to me. Spread the word, because clearly there's going to be no mainstream resistance. There's going to be no mainstream truth-telling.
Yep.
It's going to be wall-to-wall, insane, right-wing, autocratic bullshit brought to you by Trump and people like Elon Musk. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps us
Subscribe to
big time in
him.
the
Secular
algorithm.
Talk, guys.
Hit the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now.
Thank you guys
when you
for
want to.
joining me today. I appreciate you all. The Ghost Stream guy and everyone else. We're about to end it real quick. We're about to end it soon. Alright, y'all. I love you guys so much. Take it easy out there. I'll try to stream tomorrow. We will see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, subscribe, like, comment. Please support my channel, guys. I'm a fetus. I'm a fetus of a channel, but I need support. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Bye bye.
La vara sempre quiero, puedo sentarla per mi vuelo. La vara sento amigo, me resta Roma empalao. La vara sempre quiero, puedo sentarla per mi vuelo. La vara sento amigo, me resta Roma empalao. La vara sento, stella vola sento, stella vola sento, me resta Roma empalao. La vara sento, stella vola sento, stella vola sento, con hasta el luma de palao. La vara sente quiero, puedo sentarla per mi vuelo. La vara sento amigo, con hasta el luma de palao. La vara sente quiero, puedo sentarla per mi vuelo. La vara sento amigo, con hasta el luma de palao. La vara sento, stella vola sento, stella vola sento, con hasta el luma de palao. La vara sento, stella vola sento, stella vola sento, con hasta el luma de palao.
More the greatest country in the world. All of the countries are at my little girl's Cuba, number one exporter of sugar. All of the countries have inferior sugar. Cuba, home of famous cigar. It's founded by capitalists all around the world. Cuba, Cuba, a very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Cuba, friend of all except America. They're very nosy people with gold up their ass. Cuba, industry best in world. We invented coffee and the shaving knife. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Congress, mighty penis of our leader. Conjunction with the testes, the tip of his face. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Congress, mighty penis of our leader. Conjunction with the testes to tip of his face. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Congress, mighty penis of our leader.